All right then. All right. Well, we're literally actually stepping into a brand new era. I know for a fact that I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time, but you know what? Life just usually got in the way. It was literally one nightmare after another. I think things are literally actually being addressed. But yeah, I said that I was going to do this thing since ever, and I never really had a chance or an opportunity or just the time to do this. But rest assured, I've never given up on the fact on just doing a podcast, even if it's just, small. And I have to start small. I have to literally build up my expectations. When you try to dream big, sometimes you fall flat on your face. I want to go ahead and just start small, and just trying to build myself up. So, once again, my name is Awan. This is the Nerd Degree Podcast. Nothing really special, I just want to say, yeah, I'm alive. I'm still here. And thank you very much for tuning in. I know for a fact that there are a lot of podcasts on, the things that I'm interested in, which is video gaming and movies and TV shows and sports and this and that and so on and so forth. And usually it's just another platform for me to just pretty much say what's on my mind. So, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about WrestleMania, shall we? And this is just a nice little intro going into this. This is going to be unedited, uncut, uncensored. So, if it goes long, it goes long. If it does go for like 5 minutes, it goes for 5 minutes. If it goes for like an hour, it goes for an hour. It's just that I'm not going to be pressing for time here. I'm just going to say what I need to say and just be pretty much done with it. Oh yeah, and plus, sometimes I kind of stutter and stammer if I don't, a little times. So, just go ahead and bear with me. I try to catch myself, but sometimes I just fumble myself, with the words. So, apologies in advance. You're definitely going to be hearing that a lot from me. But other than that, yeah, let's talk about WrestleMania 42, shall we? And that weird build. I've always felt like WrestleMania season starts after the Royal Rumble. Me personally, I never really thought that Roman Reigns would win the Royal Rumble, but I think I know why. Box office. He's box office. The whole entire Tribal Chief still has steam. He's still a big draw, no matter what anybody says. So yeah, you have CM Punk and then you have Roman Reigns. That's like literally the main event, if you want to call it that. But I just got done watching WrestleMania Night 1, and I've just seen the post-show, which was definitely atrocious. Bro, what the fuck are you guys are doing over there in TKO, man? I'm just saying. What are you guys doing over there? So with me, I'm not going to do like a 4-star match or a 5-star match. I'm not going to go through the whole entire rigmarole or whatever the fuck. I'm just going to pretty much say whether if it was good, whether it was bad, whether it was just in the middle. I'm not going to do that grading shit, with all these matches. But as a fan to another, that's how, we're going to be doing things around here in the Nerd 3 podcast. just keep things simple. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not gonna be some damn architect or some damn super genius or some super fan is just gonna nitpick on any little things. You know, like if things are shit, I mean, I'm gonna say that they're shit. I mean, if I say it's gonna be a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna say it's a 1 out of 10. If I say it's a 5 out of 10, I'm gonna say it's a 5 out of 10. If I say it's a 10 out of 10, it's gonna be a 10 out of 10. And even then, to me, a 5 out of 10 is still like in the middle. It's still average. Spoiler alert, Night 1 is neither a 1 or a 5 or a 10 out of 10. Just putting that out there. But yeah, there was like 7 matches. And apart from all of the commercial breaks and knowing them actually paying a lot of bills, if you divvy up the times that they get in the ring or get out of the ring and shit like that, you're literally looking at like what, maybe an hour and a half of matches on a 3-hour show or a 4-hour show. That's a bit of a stretch there. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. Jeez. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like they're literally cutting the WrestleMania card in half for night 1 and then for night 2. I mean, I understood that. It works to a degree, and I will say this: if they had stronger storytelling, then I would have been fine with nights 1 and 2. I would have been fine with the whole entire WrestleMania weekend. But I would say this, as a writer, I would say that the build was mediocre, but I understood the plot. I understood what they were trying to do. I understood what kind of moves they were trying to do to try to get people to at least watch the fucking show. You know, and I would say, yeah, it worked. You know, it worked. You know, they got all these streamers out there. They got the eyes on the product. They got the eyes on everyone. But not everyone wants to go ahead and try to tune in. Like, everybody still thinks that WWE is just whatever. But I mean, I'm sorry, but then again, I'm not sorry. You're still calling it fake after all these years, and I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not going to defend my love for professional wrestling. You know, it's either you like it or you don't. You think it's fake or is it don't. Like, I actually watched UFC 327, 427, what the fuck ever, and I literally fell asleep. I fell asleep. And I remember the UFC back in the day. I used to watch that shit back in the day. With Iceman, Chuck Liddell, and the bad boy Tito Ortiz, and Royce Gracie, you know, and Matt Hughes, and Ken Shamrock, and all those guys, and the list goes on. Those were box out. Rampage Jackson, and the list goes on and on and on. Like, I see it now when it's just two guys dry humping each other. Like fuck. Like, I don't want to see that shit. I'm sorry. It's boring. It's fucked up. And then they had the audacity to fight in the backyard of the fucking White House. Like, get the fuck out of here. But that's another story. It's another story that I'll talk about or deal with later. But right now I want to talk about the WWE. So, Night 1 had 7 matches. I'm going to go one by one by the whole entire match order. Now, to kick things off, it was the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, with LA Knight. Because, why the fuck not? It's like, It's like a hodgepodge match. It's like they know for a fact that Jimmy and Jey Uso are super over. They know that LA Knight is super over, but they just don't have anything for them. So what do? They're going to stick them with Logan Paul and Austin Theory with the Vision because they don't have anything to do. And just for shits and giggles, we're going to add I Show Speed into this. I Show fucking Speed. And I just want to say this, like, I don't hate the guy. I actually love the guy. I love his life story. And how he literally got himself out of, bad situations, with his family and all this other stuff. Now he's literally traveling all over the world. I love that. And I always love watching his, IRL streams when he goes to other countries. Because I just love to see how his enthusiasm, which I know for a fact is genuine. Well, let's just be honest with you. When he's not doing this WWE shit, outside of it, it's just completely and utterly genuine. But man, was this kind of hard to watch. It was hard to watch. It was. Like I fucking hate Logan Paul and his rat fuck brother. I really do. And even though that these guys are really talented, does not really exclude them for them being two pieces of shit. So I guess I understand the logic of him being a heel. Because ain't nobody gonna like this guy. Fuck him. Ain't nobody gonna like this guy. And Austin Theory, God bless him, he's just shit out of luck. Like, I mean, goddamn. Like, the trajectory of him just literally going down in a big nosedive. He held the Money in the Bank briefcase. Just imagine if Vince McMahon was still around. He would fuck around and become a World Heavyweight Champion instead of Damian Priest. No fucking cap. Austin Theory will be the World Heavyweight Champion instead of Damian. Of course, Jimmy and Jay, they do their old shtick and all that other stuff, and LA Knight does his whole entire shtick. It was literally 7 minutes. It was 7 minutes. Like the intro of the Usos lasted longer than the match. That's a fucking problem. And then LA Knight came out with a damn Ford pickup truck with his name on it. Alright, whatever. They could just tell I had little to no effort in this match. I Show Speed did a high spot. Did a frog splash off the top rope onto a table. Logan Paul was on it. Great. Usos, LA Knight defeated the Vision with I Show Speed. Great. Get him out of there. Let's move on. Then I felt like this had to be like literally the sleeper match of the night, to be honest with you. Jacob Fatu, many people say that this guy is going to be a future main eventer. I believe that. I mean, he just has that aura that you put a strap on him. Whether if it's an Intercontinental title or the U.S. title, which for a fact, I mean, he did hold the U.S. title for a cup of coffee. It was like he was a force to be reckoned with. And I'm glad that they literally said, hey, let's just go ahead, have him break out of that whole entire group he was in with the MFTs and all that other stuff, and have him have this babyface run, and have him literally be his own man. But man, like, talk about baptism by fire. He was with Drew McIntyre. And I still don't understand why they took the strap off of him. I mean, I understand that, he won the title in a steel cage match with Cody Rhodes about maybe a few months back. Probably longer than that. But there was nothing really memorable about that world title match. Or I'm sorry, I stand corrected. That world title run. And many people were angry about that. They put the belt on Cody Rhodes. I understand that. After the shock was gone, I understood that because they really didn't really do much with him. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, their series of matches, Cody Rhodes ended up winning. Drew McIntyre literally won that match against Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship, all because Jacob Fatu interfered with the cage match, and Drew McIntyre just simply got the fuck out of the cage. And he ended up winning. Now, you can't really blame Drew McIntyre. You really need to blame the booking. You have to really blame that booking and how he actually got here. Next to the opening card match, which was his unsanctioned match. Now, was it any good than the Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk? No, it was not. For an unsanctioned match, it was more of a PG-13 match than it ever was. You know, when it comes to like unsanctioned matches with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which I believe that was like literally the best unsanctioned match I've ever seen in my entire life, live. This one was kind of a dud. Maybe because we still didn't really get over the fact that Drew McIntyre kind of got the shaft of him losing the title so early. Or, I'm sorry, just so late in the game of him going to WrestleMania. And then Jacob Fatu, of course, they needed him on the card. Like, the match was decent. I mean, all I gotta say, but it just kind of went on way too long. It was 14 minutes, but it felt like 20. It felt like a match that shouldn't have been there. But then again, if I had to choose whether or not, I mean, if I have to actually take out a match, it wouldn't be these two. I like the supposed brutality, quote unquote brutality. But I mean, nah. I mean, it was okay. I mean, that's all I have to say. It was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just okay. Fatal 4-way for the tag team match. It was a piss break. I'm sorry. I'm glad that Paige is back in the WWE. You know, I'm glad that she's wrestling again. You know, but for crying out loud, did they literally have to take the straps off of Nia Jax and Lash Legend and put them on Brie and Paige? Look, I knew for a fact that the Bellas were going to win the women's tag team championships. I knew they were going to do it, especially in WrestleMania. But of course, Nikki Bella got injured. Yeah, I guess she ended up breaking one of her legs. I guess she was on crutches. God bless her. You know, with a full recovery. Because damn, that had to suck. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss was there. Bayley and Lycara Valkyrie was there. Did you actually care? I guess for a fact I know somebody didn't care. It was about 8 minutes long. Sorry. 8 minutes long. Nobody cared. All because Nikki Bella got injured. But do you honestly believe that they were going to have a 20-minute banger? No. And it's a shame because I look at the match and I look at the stipulations. But then again, I still look at the ladies that are actually involved, and I felt like these ladies deserve so much better. So much better. But I mean, what can you do? Then there was a singles match for WWE's Women's Intercontinental Championship. I actually liked Becky Lynch's new theme song. There was a lot of theme songs that were being debuted. This was one of them. I liked it. I liked it. I mean, I like the whole entire, hard rock and all the other stuff, and it just feels like, I just want to say gritty, but yet glamorous at the same time, because it's Becky Lynch. But yeah, I would have to say that this was actually one of the best worked matches of the night. Yes, it was an intercontinental match. I felt like it could have gone a little bit longer because I was really getting into this match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. There were a lot of spots and a lot of holds. It was a really really good worked match. I mean, it was a lot of great psychology going into this match. And AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, they have great psychology together. So, if there was a match that I felt like could have gone a lot more or had more time, it would have been this one. It was only 8 minutes. I felt like, okay, you should have actually given this match maybe 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And have it really actually mean something. But still, I mean, it's just me like literally nitpicking at this point with this match. So it was a really good match. A really really good match with Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Now, where does AJ Lee goes from here? Possibly she might end up getting a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. But then again, I look at the match before it, and I'm like, okay, well, what about Kyria Valkyria? What about a Lash Legend? If she ever goes to Raw. I think these two ladies that I just mentioned needs to focus on singles matches more. Because I mean, I understand what the irresistible forces with Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and I'm not saying that Nia Jax is just bad. It's just that you don't know what you're going to get with her. Kind of like the whole saying, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Just like you never know what you're going to get with Nia. I mean, like, yeah, who knew her being a tag team with Last Legend would actually ended up her being good again. I don't know. Not saying that she was terrible, but it's like she kind of potatoed a couple of females, which yeah, I mean, I think everybody wishes they don't want to remember, but yeah. But who really knows at this point? Like, me personally, I want Kyria Valkyria to go after the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think it's about time she tries to get that strap again. And if you really want to go ahead and add some more veteran depth into this, add Bayley into the mix. Because let's just be honest with you, we did not need a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team match. No, we didn't need that. We did not need that. And maybe I'm being a bit too hasty or a bit too I don't want to be judgmental, but I'm not really feeling the whole entire Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss tag team odd couple thing. I mean, I never liked it. Then it was another singles match. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. I must say, Gunther pretty much took some time off. And then he looked really, really good. He was getting a little bit pudgy, a little bit. But I didn't mind. I didn't notice. But man, he looked real jacked and he looked real cut in this match. He really put the fucking work in, making himself look good. And he looks good too. Because I said, man, like, the way that he actually moved with Seth Rollins, the guy looked like a killer. He's still got his power moves. It's just that he's just slimmer. He's still a strong striker, but he's not this big and bulky guy anymore. And Seth Rollins, though, it's like you could tell like he kind of slowed down the match. He was trying to be technical about things, but if he really want to turn up the speed, if you really want to turn up the heat, he could. So this was a great match between these two. It went on for about 15 minutes. It was a nice technical match, especially when you're dealing with Gunther. I mean, he's more of a grounded technical striker. You know, he's got submissions, which is just the sleeper, but he lives and dies by the sleeper now, which I think that's actually a good call. You know, because that power bomb, yeah, it's all right, but putting somebody to sleep is actually a real devastating thing to see. So yeah, Gunther, I do believe he needed this win badly. Seth Rollins doesn't really need it. He's going to go ahead and going to face Braun Breaker in the foreseeable future. This just in, Braun Breaker actually came into the match and he speared the fuck out of this guy, Seth freaking Rollins. Not once, but twice. He literally ran down that damn fucking ramp. And I really thought that it looked like fucking Mortal Kombat Raiden hitting the damn Superman, hitting the fucking Renaissance. I mean, that was... And I love that overhead shot the way they actually did it. Because Carlito, he sold that shit like death when Braun Breaker hit it with him. So many people was actually wondering, like, maybe this whole entire, you know, injury that he had with it, and it was indeed a legitimate injury. It was a sports hernia, which could sneak up on you at any time. So I knew that was fucking painful. But Braun Breaker, he looked good too. He looked jacked. I mean, he looked like he didn't slack off at all while having that hernia. And plus he's a really young guy, you know. He could bounce back from injuries like that. But yeah, this whole entire thing made sense. Gunther needed this win. Whether or not if there's going to be a WWE draft, he needs to be in the world title picture. Either he faces Cody. I'll get to that in a second. But if he's going to stay on Raw, and the World Heavyweight Championship is going to stay on Raw, then Gunther has to literally win. He needed to win, and he did win. So I'm happy with the whole entire situation. Many people were like, "Fuck!" Braun Breaker got fucking hurt, you know, and he still made a WrestleMania appearance. He just wasn't medically cleared in time to face Rollins. But at the same time, it's like it's a blessing in disguise because Seth Rollins did not need to win. Gunther needed to win. As a matter of fact, Gunther needed to win badly. Him coming back. Now this sets up for Backlash with Rollins and Breaker. I think this was actually good booking in this opinion. And it was literally a great match too. It was slow to moderate pace as it should. Now, did it deserve 15 minutes? Yeah. I get it. You know, it's Seth Rollins. You know, he was back from injury. Gunther, he was back from his sabbatical. with this time off. So of course, they needed the time. But the right person won this time. Gunther won. Then we moved to another World Heavyweight Championship, which is on the women's side. It was Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. I must say, I'm a huge fan of Stephanie Vaquer now. And I really loved how she really puts the time and the work in of actually learning the English language. Because I know for a fact that learning another language at all is so fucking hard. Very, very hard. And for her to actually to go ahead and do that, that's great. That's amazing. Well, let's talk about Liv Morgan for a second. I mean, I want to know what you thought about the whole entire entrance. I want to know. I really want to know. What do you guys think about that entrance? Like, jeez. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but then again, this is not my kind of music. Of course, this isn't my kind of music. I'm not really into the whole entire pop shit. I don't even like K-pop. All it is just R&B from the fucking 90s to the early 2000s. That's all it is. It's rehashed R&B from 1990s to the 2000s. But they want to call that shit original. Whatever. But that's another story. I'll get into that later. But yeah, I did not like the song. And I sure as hell did not like the choreography. And sure as hell I did not like her ring attire, her flesh-colored ring attire that was shades of Britney Spears from the early 2000s. Yes. Jeez, it was. I had to look away a couple of times. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Liv. I mean, you are definitely a beautiful girl. But I'm gonna say this, and this might be a very controversial hot take, but nobody knows what sexy actually is. Nobody knows what sexy actually is. It's just an ideology at this point. It really is. Like, what is sexy? What do you consider as sexy? Because I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, she's beautiful and all, but damn, like I can't. Ugh, it. And of course the crowd went meh. Like, I don't think they hated it. It was just like that whole entire thing is like, what the fuck am I watching? am I watching a pop performance? Am I watching some other who is that blonde chick's name who talks shit about men but has no problem showing her ass and tits in front of everybody? Who is she? I mean, I know it's a dime a dozen of these bitches, but still, like, oh yeah, so Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, that fucking bitch. That unfucking talented bitch. I'm sorry, but it's not like, you can't really just trash on men. You know what I mean? And then dress like a fucking stripper on set. Like, what are you trying to do? The whole entire depreciating thing, like a fucking simps, stuff like that. Like, I don't understand that. I never really understood that kind of shit. I never did. Like, you can't really kill off men in your fucking videos. Yes, everybody, I do have Twitter. I do have X. Shows up on my fucking timeline, and yeah, I watch this dumbass shit all the time, and I'm like, and I always respond like, who is this for? Like what is the demographic? Single women over the age of 40? Who? I'm sorry. And if you're under 440, that's that too. Never really understood it. So now yeah, the match went on for like 9 minutes. But the thing is though, like, they had great psychology. But then again, we all know for a fact that Liv Morgan can fucking wrestle. And so can Stephanie Vaquer. It was a nice little sweet spot, you know. It didn't go on too long, it didn't go on too short. However, the only thing that I did not really like is the blatant interference. It took you three women, Liv. Three women to beat Stephanie Vaquer. Yeah, she had kicked out of the Oblivion once. But, I mean, it's like, yeah, she's actually a heel. Judgment Day is a heel faction. But you haven't seen the last of Stephanie Vaquer. And I'm just going to say, don't be surprised if Stephanie Vaquer has her own crew by the end of the month. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think Sol Ruka needs to probably come up and side with her. Probably a couple of the Triple A women can actually side with her. You know, just something like that. Because they're literally like four fucking women. Four or three, who knows? Is it three? Because it's Roxanne Perez, I believe, and then there's Rodriguez. There's a Jada Parker. Like I mean there's so fucking many of them. Okay, yeah, I stand corrected. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez. I was right the first time, I guess. I don't know. I was right the first time. Yeah, I think that the whole entire group is running on fumes at this point. They just got rid of Finn Balor. I think Dominic Mysterio is the leader, I guess. I don't fucking know. But yeah, the match ended with her with blatant interference. At least we got to see the Devil's Kiss, and the camera shot did not disappoint us, because of course. But then again, Stephanie Vaquer, she even said it before, like, she doesn't mind people loving the Devil's Kiss. There's a reason why she does it, because she wants you to see it. I mean, it makes her money. Shit, go ahead and do it. But yeah, it was a great title reign from Stephanie. A great title reign. Liv Morgan, I think, needed to win. But I'm just going to say, do not be surprised if she's going to hold this one less than 30 days. Because somebody else, either if it's Stephanie Vaquer, is going to be somebody else that's going to beat her for the world title. Then the main event. Look, I heard a lot of hot takes. I heard a lot of, oh my god, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh my god, WrestleMania 42 is going to be trash. WWE is trash. Triple H and Triple K. And I'm going to be honest with you people. I'm going to be honest with a lot of you people. You're not actually wrong. you're not actually wrong, okay? The build with this undisputed WWE championship, how it was won by Cody Rhodes, and how it was built after the title win, I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't good. And yes, I'm going to say it. We did not need Pat McAfee. We didn't. Of course, he pretty much permanently left WWE because, scheduling conflicts. It's all because, ESPN Game Day has been paying him a shit ton of money to do college sports, and then they're paying him a shit ton of money to do this podcast that he built from the ground up. So, of course, he's going to be busy, and plus, he's a family man and all this other stuff. So, he can't really add stuff like Monday Night Raw commentary because he was doing that for a while. He couldn't be doing that. It was going to be a huge strain on him, which I understand completely. So, of course, they actually add that little nugget that if Randy Orton would lose the match, then McAfee would be forced to leave professional wrestling industry forever. Well, all I have to say is this match did not really need McAfee. We already had a multi-year build with both of these men, and they could have definitely just used that. If you wanted to use Pat McAfee, then put them on your show. Hell, let them actually have a face-to-face confrontation with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes actually talking about how things have happened and how Randy Orton has kind of turned to the dark side and this and that and so on and so forth. We did not need Pat McAfee in that ring, and we sure as hell didn't really need Jelly Roll do a fucking frog splash, which that spot was already done pretty much better, I might add, with IShowSpeed. And that was actually in the beginning of the show. I'm like, oh my god. And yeah, I got a chuckle from Pat McAfee's sucker punch with Cody Rhodes. And whether or not, if being serious here, whether or not if Randy Orton was actually injured and was fighting through a tweaked injury, because of course, his back problems and his shoulder problems have been highly documented over his 20 plus year career. That could have. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, yes, if they could have just used that, whether if it's kayfabe or not. It just felt like a huge afterthought with Pat McAfee just getting yeeted. And then it was like, okay, now let's go ahead and focus on Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Let's focus on something that we all actually wanted to see. And I have to say that it was a great match. If you haven't seen a Cody Rhodes match and his psychology, then you're not really seeing anything new. Same thing with Orton. But it was a really great, well thought match. We actually saw some color. Both men was busted wide open, which I think added to the match. But then again, Pat McAfee had to be in it. And I'm just like, he was literally in a neck brace with a fucking referee shirt on, trying to count the pin. I'm like, he's not, like, how the fuck is he even a referee? But then again, you know, Michael Cole, he was probably fed a line saying he's a part of the TKO representatives, and they literally gave him that, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, okay, Michael Cole. I think we understand that, but it's still dumb, really dumb. Because you know what happened next? Randy Orton gave Pat McAfee an RKO. And that supposed distraction helped Cody Rhodes defeat Randy Orton. Did he really need to be there? No. Did he have to be in this feud? No. Was any of this necessary for them to literally tell a story by these two men who have a storied history together? No. No, they didn't. The only reason why they did is because Pat McAfee has literally one of the best sports podcasts in the country, possibly in the world. He's affiliated with ESPN. TKO loves this guy. Of course, they're going to give him a paycheck. Now, if we're really going ahead and we're trying to book this thing, you know what I mean? Who would fill Pat McAfee's spot, but in the same time would make sense? At the top of your heads, you'll probably will think about it, and you'll probably will say, all of them are pretty much either retired or gone, or went to another promotion. But in the same breath, we could have dealt without Pat McAfee. Just kept the focus on their storied history, and it would have been an amazing match going into it. It just felt goofy. If that is a word, if I could go ahead and explain all of this. It just felt goofy. Extremely goofy. Like none of it was literally serious at all. Now, after the match was over, Randy Orton, he attacked Cody Rhodes, bloodied him up again. And then he did the punt kick. He actually did it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, he actually did the punt kick. Cody Rhodes sold that like it was death. Randy Orton was standing tall. With the championship he did not win. Fade to black. I'm possibly going to sleep on it. And a part of me is going to appreciate the match. But I know for a fact that's not probably going to happen. I'm going to have to give this an okay match, man. It's just an okay match. I just felt like there were too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many controversy going into the build that kind of just deflated that damn balloon. Everybody wanted Randy Orton to win. He was not the heel in this feud. He wasn't. Everything he did was justifiable. We are sick and tired of Cody Rhodes being shoved down our throats. He's the poster boy. You know, he's selling that Wheatley vodka that tastes like crap. Put in an Alaskan Mule with fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which I'm surprised he's still alive. After all the cocaine and drugs he's been taking. And Carmelo Hayes. Wasn't he the first draft pick on SmackDown? Yeah, he was regulated to be a United States champion. He was about to be on the card with Trick Williams. But no. He's out in some fucking campfire somewhere with a bunch of people a bunch of assholes he doesn't really know anything about. On a fucking commercial. Alright, dude. Alright. That's all I gotta say. Alright. So I watched the post game thing. I don't know. It was something. Liv Morgan and fucking Corey Graves twerking on stage on all fours. Like, alright, whatever. A lot of bullet points. That's all it was. It was a lot of bullet points, but Triple H was not even there. Makes you wonder if he's actually going to show up for night 2. I think so. Yeah, he just put his own wife, Stephanie McMahon, in the Hall of Fame. And it took them long enough to add Bad News Brown and fucking Sid Vicious in the Hall of Fame. It took them long enough to actually put fucking Demolition in the Hall of Fame. And I am happy to see, AJ Styles be inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He has a Legends contract with the WWE. So that whole entire last run with TNA Wrestling, no. Why the hell would he? So he could fade off into obscurity? They barely even have 10,000 viewers over at AMC. I'm not saying that the product over there at TNA is bad. It's just, it would be a severe downgrade. That's all I'm trying to say. He can make an appearance. Just like one appearance. And that's it. On the biggest pay-per-view, Bound for Glory. Whenever that is happening. He could show up then. In a non-wrestling appearance. He doesn't need to do that anymore. He said it himself. So, like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, in this episode, that night 1 wasn't a 1 or a 5 or a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Because there were a lot of matches that could have been on Raw, could have been on SmackDown, and would have went off a hitch, none the wiser. But if I bought a ticket for night 1, I would be angry. I would be upset. I would be frustrated. So yeah, it's going to be a 6 out of 10 with me. I'm not going to be doing any predictions for night 2 because everything could just be broken wide open. Still pissed off that Carmelo Hayes is not going to be in the United States Championship match Still pissed off about that. So it's going to be like 6 matches. 6 matches. However, there's going to be another stipulation for the World Heavyweight Championship if you did not know. If Reigns loses, he will leave the WWE. For pretty much all of, 3, 4 fucking months. Now, it would be something. It would be something if CM Punk actually retains. And we see Roman Reigns leave. Like I said before, I'm not going to predict anything. But the guy's like 40 years old. He's literally my age. Damn. I did not know that. He's been having, leukemia for many years. He's been battling that for quite some time. And like Hollywood's calling him. Hollywood's calling him. But people need to realize something. Like, he's been doing this for like what, 15 years under the WWE umbrella. He's been doing this for 15 years, 16 years. So for him to actually kind of like step away from professional wrestling, and for him to actually do a career in acting, that'll be good on him. But like I said before, like, this has to be the most unpredictable card I've ever seen in my entire life. Anybody could win. But then again, none of us wouldn't actually be satisfied with the results. It's just that we don't actually know who's going to win in night 2. Will Brock Lesnar lay down and give Obafemi the biggest push in his entire career? With Javon Evans out of the 6 people who are going to be in the 6-pack ladder match, will he become the Intercontinental Champion? Maybe it could be Dragon Lee. Maybe it could be JD McDonough. Maybe it could be Rusev. Or maybe it could be Rey Mysterio's old ass, 51 years old, still wrestling in fucking ladder matches. He needs to sit his ass down somewhere. Man, I love Rey Mysterio, but no, he needs to sit his ass down somewhere. Always getting injured every 3 fucking months. Like, come on. Stop it. Then Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Here's a little nugget of information. Jade Cargill never actually defended her title ever since she won it. So this will be her first title defense. Literally. We all know that Rhea Ripley is everybody's favorite in the back, so who knows. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Don't care. I would like to see Trick Williams win. But it all depends on whether or not if Sami Zayn wants to drop the title to Trick. Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I'm glad that the Demon is back, but it's been a little bit of a too little too late. Hopefully Finn Balor actually does win. And no, I'm not trying to predict anything. Because if there's anybody who deserves to be in the main event picture, is him. Because Dominic Mysterio is literally a world champion, everybody. That AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion is considered a world recognized championship in professional wrestling. He is a world champion. He is a world champion before Finn fucking Balor. And no, I'm not counting his 24-hour title reign because he fucked up his shoulder, which was a freak accident. And he never sniffed the fucking title since. The world title since. So a lot of... I don't want to say concern, because I think that's a wrong word to say. But a lot of unpredictability. And that unpredictability lies a question. Will they do the right thing? And that's going to be the end of this podcast. Wow, I'm about literally an hour in. Ugh. Well, you know, I had a lot to somewhat cover, but I'm going to do the same thing. I might end up uploading this maybe on Sunday, and then I'm going to upload night 2 of what I watched on Monday. So yeah, leave the comments down below, and as always, I am A1. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for listening, and as always, stay safe out there. See, I'm tripping over my words. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys on the other side, and have a good one. I will talk to you all later. Peace.